Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good evening and welcome to our live stream. Today we're going to be ranking NHL goaltenders. We've got 40 goaltenders who will be playing here in the 2022-23 NHL season. And we'll be ranking them, of course, as you can see on my screen, according to tiers. So at the very top, we have the Hasek-esque, the very cream of the crop, challenging as one of the greatest goaltenders to ever play the game. We got the Vezina contender guys who could potentially, be a finalist for that award perennially. We've got the All-Star tier. Below that, we've got the solid 1A or 1B tier. So maybe not like a bona fide starter, but a good sort of middle ground option. Then we have a competent backup, right? Somebody who's not going to play a lot of games, but does their job fine. And then we have complete sieve. So 40 goaltenders. I know it's a little tricky to figure out who's who because, goaltenders do bounce around teams, but I've got a list here, and so then that way I'll help you kind of figure that out. We can also look at some statistics and all that good stuff. All right. How you guys doing? All right. I love seeing a lot of folks here already. And Cortana here, she's ready to be a good co-host this evening. But bam, yep, I am streaming. I mean, my thing is mostly going to be Thursday evenings, right? I think that's probably what we can expect on this channel for the most part throughout this upcoming season. And maybe weekend streams once we get to, our membership offerings, but that's kind of its own beast. Trevor, how you doing, man? You recommended jersey rankings, 90s and the aughts. I like that. Kind of like the CCM era, right? CCM, a little bit of Coho and Nike too. I wouldn't shy away from that. I think that people would love that quite a bit, especially since we're seeing a lot of those jerseys return in the form of reverse retro, alternates, commemorative jerseys, right? Like the Hurricanes today, right? They unveiled that. How you doing there, Toria? Vanessa, hello. Of the week 1 game. That's right. Hey, what's up, Dan? Welcome back. The 25th jersey for the Canes. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the jersey. I like it okay, but I'm fine that they're bringing it back to honor the team. I'm still more of a fan of the red Adidas jersey that they've worn for most of their time the last few years at home. It sucks to not see that continue, but anyway, yeah, I think that a lot of people will love seeing that jersey return. But anyway, wow, all right, we got a good crowd already. We'll give it just a few more minutes, so hang tight. I want to make sure we give enough people time to join us here. The Mooterus is confirmed. Are you kidding me? Are you for real? Oh my god. With the current colors? That is interesting to say the least. All right, now if I want to do a poll, hopefully oh god, I have a feeling it's going to be super slow, but we'll see. Okay, that's not going to be too bad. Okay. All right, we'll wait until we get about 12 or 15 people here. Then we'll start the rankings. So again, just like we've been doing the last few times, right? We've got 6 tiers, but when I give you guys the poll options, right, we have the S or A. That's kind of one option. B is an option. C is an option. And then D, E is an option as well. And of course, I'll shuffle things around if I see one tier really getting out of hand with how many goaltenders there are. So, if you guys just hang tight for a minute, we'll just allow a few other folks to join. Today, by the way, I put out a video on ranking the top 25 most likely future Hockey Hall of Famers. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. And tomorrow I'm going to start working on division previews. So this weekend, my objective is to get up our first division preview, probably for the Metropolitan Division. Then we'll have the Atlantic Division, and then the Central and the Pacific. Then I'll make a full-on season predictions video, a couple other videos, and then I'll be off to Europe on October 5th. A reverse Buffalo Slug in yellow. That would just be atrocious, wouldn't it? Mooterus with the current colors. You're liking it? I'm sure, hey, as long as, they don't screw up the bottom of the jersey, I think it'll be a hit. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy seeing that. But in the current color scheme, it actually might be all right. As long as there's none of that gross red they had in there last time. Mooterus versus Fisherman versus Mustard Preds. Yeah, well, we haven't gotten any confirmation about what the Preds are doing just yet, right? I mean, I of course am hoping that they throw it back to the classic checkerboard jersey that was only around for, I think, 2 or 3 seasons. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, I'm fired up for it. Absolutely. Am I bringing Cortana with me? No, I'm not. I can't imagine. I'd have to definitely sedate her if we were to fly over like that. It'd be one thing maybe if I lived on the East Coast, but you have to remember that I'm flying, I think, 10 and a half hours from Seattle to Germany, and then, just a little puddle jumper to Prague. Two-tone Mooterus with a lime green. Okay, actually, that would be an instant purchase if they did that. Mustard checkerboard. I want to see them keep the navy, or that logo had like a light blue. It was like really a two-tone blue because you had the that light blue on the outside of the logo. That'd be really weird if they made that like the primary base of the jersey, and then the checkerboard was like navy and yellow or something. I don't know. I could go for that, frankly. Oh, I've never taken Cortana flying, so I don't think that she would be able to sit with me. As much as I would love that to happen, she would have to be like literally tranquilized. But yeah, I can't imagine that. I've only just taken her on road trips. A neon Mooterus, my God, how about that? All right. Well, anyway, we're what, 2 weeks? So wait, 2 weeks from tomorrow, or 3 weeks from tomorrow? 3 weeks from tomorrow. That's the first game of the season. Preds and Sharks from Prague. So I'm hoping you guys are able to tune in for that. I certainly am going to be down for that too. A blue Robo Penguin, but white. Yeah, I think what is it now? It looks like it's going to be a yellow jersey. A yellow Pittsburgh Penguins that's not the previous alternate. So yeah, we've got some new, new jerseys being unveiled, right? The Sharks just officially, finally unveiled theirs and their uniforms. Not exactly sure if I can get used to seeing all that teal on the ice, but I like the jerseys fine. The font is elegant. It's tasteful. And the road jersey looks really good. The road kit overall, I'm a fan of that. Sharks in Vegas at the end of the month. Oh, are you going to get to go to the game? That'd be pretty rad. As we fight it out for last place in the division. No, I'm just joking. But then again, you're going to need a good performance from your goaltenders. I know that Logan Thompson, he'll rise to the occasion, but we'll see who else is in there. Seals lettered. Yeah, I don't know why they're not just using a regular logo. I think they should use the actual Oakland Seals logo or use the Sharks logo recolored as the Oakland Seals logo. Vipers? I don't know if I'm familiar with the Vipers as much. Anyway. You like the teal on teal on teal? I thought that I could get on board with it, but when I saw Couture out there, he looked so miserable. It's like he lost a bet or something like that. Which goalie did I pick for the Avs? Oh, good question, Joseph. So what I did was I have a total of 40 goaltenders. So this will help capture some goaltending tandems for this upcoming season where you'll have a 1A and a 1B. Like with the Avalanche, you'll have Francouz and Georgiev. I don't think that either goaltender is going to get more than 48 or 50 starts. So in that case, I chose both of them. For like the Ottawa Senators, right? You've got Anton Forsberg and Cam Talbot, right? I chose both of them in that case. But for the Lightning, I just chose Vasilevskiy. For the Canucks, I just chose Demko. There we go. All right, guys. You know what? I don't want to keep us waiting all that long, as fantastic as you are. So what we can do is maybe, since we don't have a lot of you right now, we can start the polls and maybe I'll re-poll certain goaltenders later on who didn't get that many votes. That's kind of how we've done it so far. I just want to make sure that we have opportunity to get through as many of these as possible, especially for some of you out there who might not have enough time. So what we'll do is we'll get started with our polls. So I'm going to put one up right here on YouTube. We're not going to use straw poll. So there we go. The Detroit Vipers, I got to look them up. I mean, I've probably seen the look before, but it's not coming to mind immediately. So our first goaltender is Tristan Jarry. So B, C, D, or E. Okay. So vote away, and if vote kind of like your expectations for the goaltender for this upcoming season. Of course, you want to factor in how they did most recently, and you want to factor in kind of their overall body of work. But just kind of vote based on your expectation for them this upcoming season. Now, Tristan Jarry, I'll even read some stats out there for you guys. This past season, 58 games played, 56 restarts, a 2.42 goals against average. I think Pittsburgh had like the 5th best defense. A .919 save percentage. He had how many shutouts? He had 4 shutouts, and he finished 7th in Vezina Trophy voting. And I of course want to see as many votes as we can. So cast away, everybody. Even if you don't watch the goaltender all that much. Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. That's a good point. You could consider him a Vezina contender for this tier, but then maybe you drop him down a little bit because of, he falls a little short in the playoffs. Love how the poll shows up in the chat with a laptop. Okay, that's good. No respect for the 2-time All-Star. Oh my god, look at Cortana on the camera here. Alright, cast your vote for Tristan Jarry. Oh good, we got all kinds of opinions on him. 2-time All-Star, yep. Oh, got that. There's Cortana. Smash that like for Cortana. Bless you. She just sneezed. Alright. Shannon has a New Jersey video? Did he get like the Sharks ones already? Yes, Bruce. I that's one thing I missed getting ready for the stream today. I should have brought up the treats, or at least the it's been a while since I've cut up an apple for her. Yes. Hey. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I will find something for her to entertain herself with. All right, Dan, sounds good, man. All right, any other votes for Tristan Jarry? We've got 9 so far. I think we're on the cusp of double digits here, so let's give it another 15 seconds, and then we can move on with the next goaltender, Craig Anderson in this case. All right, let's see. We're stuck on 9 votes, so we'll count this down, and then we'll move on to the next one. So, Tristan Jarry, we're gonna close out the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So what do we end up with here? 22, 33, 33, 11. All right, 22, 33, 33, 11. All right. So he got a little bit more for the S or A tier than he did the D tier. So I'm going to put him in the low B tier here to start out. But again, this could change. I got to see around my microphone here. Actually, you know what, here. One sec, guys. Let me just do a little trickaroo here. There we go. Perfect. That's perfect. There we go. Okay. Cool. Next guy is going to be Craig Anderson. So, just a moment as I get this poll together. Okay. 41 years old. Okay. Or D. All right. So Craig Anderson is up next. Okay, so Anderson this past season played in 31 games. He had a 3.12 goals against average and an 897 save percentage. And he won 17 of his 31 games. So actually, the Sabres played pretty well with him in net. And as you recall from this picture here, he was starting for them in the Heritage Classic against the Maple Leafs, and he actually played a really, really good game. So cast your vote for Craig Anderson. So you like Shesterkin and then Ottinger. Wow, you'd already have Ottinger that high. Interesting. Well, stick around because we want those votes, man. If the mic shot lasers at me, that does not sound very comfortable on the skin. This decade, we're going to finally see a Canadian team win a Stanley Cup. Let's hope so, man. Going on 30 years now. But the question is, of course, who's it going to be, right? Calgary or Edmonton? Toronto? Ottawa? Or do they all collapse and Montreal wins the next one? All right, we got 8 votes on Craig Anderson. Let's give it another like 15 seconds, guys. So cast a vote if you haven't already. Yeah, it's amazing to see Anderson still playing at 41 years old. Because, I mean, he's had some injuries. He's moved around some teams. He's dealt with some off-ice matters, of course. Glad to see that his wife is doing much better. What led me to move to Idaho? 4 seasons, man. I can go snowboarding at 5 different resorts and drive like not even 90 minutes to get to all of them. Cheaper. People are friendly. Less wildfires, even though in the state we have a lot of wildfires, but not as much like where I live. And yeah, just I want to get it, I wanted a smaller town feel. Although a lot of people have moved here for sure. All right, cool. So with Craig Anderson, let's wrap him up in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so in this case, 55% have him in the D or E tier, which is still, that's not necessarily bad. He's at least a competent backup, right? 22-22, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Anderson in the D tier, and then could we drop him to the E tier later on? Yeah, it's possible, right? But for now, we'll put him in D tier. All right, next up is Carter Hart. All right, Carter Hart. Not to mention, Joseph, I love the proximity to Montana. What a beautiful, beautiful part of the country that is. All right, Carter Hart. Yes. Alrighty. Carter Hart, let's take a look at his numbers from this past season. Okay, with Philadelphia, of course, 45 games, a 3.16 goals against average, and a 905 save percentage with 1 shutout. Now, come on. He actually had a decent save percentage for the team that he was on. But hey, maybe he's not the same goaltender that we were expecting. How long do goaltenders usually take to develop? Have a very good young goaltender. Yeah, Jesper Wallstedt. Think about how many great goaltenders are under the age of 25 in the NHL. Very, very few of them. Like Igor Shesterkin's 26 years old, right? Jake Ottinger is 23. Maybe he's 24 now. But other than that, there's no other really good goaltender under the age of 25 in the NHL. Or at least I can't name any off the top of my head, right? Goaltenders can be really good into their mid-30s. Yeah. I know, it's kind of hard to determine with Hart considering the team that's around him, right? And I'd be curious to kind of see how Tortorella defenses have fared. You know, with Vancouver, they had Luongo. They were defensively a very solid team, right? Columbus, they were a really good team defensively with Tortorella. Of course, they also had Bobrovsky back then, too. All right, we got 8 votes on Hart. We'll give you guys about 15 seconds more to make a decision on Carter Hart. Guys, we are like 100 subscribers away from 5,000. We're so close. And I'd love to have like some sort of giveaway on a stream. If we can hit this before I go to Europe, that would be fantastic. I think we will. We'll do something with that. Something modest though. I've been dropping a lot of money. All right. Okay, Carter Hart going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Favorite place in Montana? I haven't explored all that much, but I mean, I went to this on the west side. That's most of the time I've spent there. I went to this great trail called Hub Lake. Hub Lake was gorgeous. It's my favorite. It's my favorite hike I've been on, probably ever, or at least in this part of the country for sure. All right, let's go for Carter Hart here. So 0, so 7% D or E, 38% for the B tier, and 53% for the C tier. So that is where we'll place Carter. There we go. Okay. Do I play fantasy? I actually don't. I know I talked it up, the idea of like making a video kind of giving some fantasy hockey advice or giving you guys a better preview. It's just I didn't have the time for that, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm not a fantasy hockey guy, but I mean, I keep up with the league enough to where I could give people advice, I think. But anyway, next goaltender is Ilya Sorokin. Kind of becoming one of my favorites in the NHL, I'd say. All right, Ilya Sorokin. What do you guys think? Let's look at Sorokin's numbers this past year. Sorokin. All right, so Ilya Sorokin in 52 games this past season, a 2.40 goals against average, a .925 save percentage, and 7 shutouts. I think that was second most in the NHL. He also finished 6th in Vezina Trophy voting. And this was just his first full 82-game season in the NHL. He is 27 years old now. Have there been Shesterkin and Vasi as a tandem? I don't know what team would spend that much money on just goaltending. But that'd be amazing, right? Because you'd have Shesterkin for the regular season and then Vasi for the playoffs. Have there been many seasons with high goalie turnover across the league? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I was saying at the beginning, I was surprised at like how many of these goaltenders are on different teams already. Yeah, Sorokin, now I see right now that with the results right now, we've got 7 votes. Okay, so this is split a little bit. But yeah, I'm kind of the mindset that Sorokin, I mean, he was 6th in Vezina voting, and that's not a fluke. He is an athletic goaltender. And I think he's pretty consistent, too. I don't watch the Isles all that much, but Sorokin doesn't seem to have that many nights where he's allowing, like, 4 goals. So, we got 10 votes. Let's give it about 15 more seconds on Ilya Sorokin for anybody who has yet to cast a vote. Yeah. Okay, Sorokin, we're going to end this in 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1. All right. So Ilya Sorokin is our first A tier. Oh, 11 votes. Somebody snuck one in at the end. Thank you very much. So 45% is in the A tier, 27, 18, and 9. So at 45% for the A tier, I'm going to put, or A or S, I'm going to put Sorokin in the A tier. And if you guys were to ask me, this is exactly where I would have him in my personal ranking. So there you go. I think. Maybe he's still a little green in the position, but he had 52 games this past season. All right, now we got an interesting one here. We've got Sergey Brofsky. Sergey Bobrovsky. Where on this list is he going to land? All right, guys. So if you want the stats on Bobrovsky this past year, he played in 54 games for the Panthers, a 2.67 goals against average, a 913 save percentage. That's his best in the past 3 years. He had 3 shutouts, and that was him. Definitely the best season he's had in Florida. I thought he was actually very good for them in the playoffs. Not great, but solid. And he has 2 Vezina trophies. Although some out there would say that he's definitely way past his prime. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on Bob. I think he straddles the line between 2 tiers. But anyway, I'll see what you guys have to say about this. And then next up, we'll have Jacob Markstrom. Yep, ex-Flyer Sergey Bobrovsky, an ex-Blue Jacket. How big is the Wild's window for a cup? Did you watch my cup contention window video? I made that, like 2 weeks ago? But in a nutshell, I think the Wild are actually delaying their cup window. Losing Fiala stings, and the cap situation right now isn't very good. But I think that, like, in 3 years, that window is going to potentially get wide open, right? With the likes of Matt Boldy developing, Marco Rossi, Jesper Wallstedt, and they just had a killer draft. Not to mention they got... who was that they got from LA in the trade? They got like 1 or 2 pretty good players off of that as well. Kaprizov will still only be like 28 years old. I think that's when the Wild could be deadly. Yeah, Eric Sneck is only going to be about 28 years old as well. Wait a second. Wait, do they don't have Carson Lambos, do they? Who has Carson Lambos? Oh, Winnipeg. Well, Winnipeg Ice. He's Carson Lambos is another big draft pick of theirs. So yeah, they've been ranked as like having the best draft class or the best prospect pool. At least they're right up there. All right, Bobrovsky. Let's close it out in about 10 seconds. And closing it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Interesting, guys. I thought that maybe you would have rated Bobrovsky a little bit lower. So 53% in the B tier, 15% in A tier, 30% in C tier, and 0 for D tier. Interesting. Okay, so did he rate better than Tristan Jarry? About the same, but a little bit better. So I'm going to put Bobrovsky here. I would kind of straddle that line between the B and the C tier. I'm not entirely sure. But he had a good year last year. He's kind of like I think of him as a really good 1A or something like that. Spencer Knight. I don't know, man. I haven't seen enough of Knight. But I hope he's the real deal. Okay, next up is going to be Jacob Markstrom. And we got the D tier. Okay. Jacob Markstrom. I will read his statistics out loud for you guys. Okay, last year, Markstrom, 63 games for Calgary, a 2.22 goals against average, a 9.22 save percentage, 9 shutouts. He shut out his opposition 9 times, and he finished second for the Vezina Trophy, and was NHL all second team, basically. Markstrom was, he was much better than his numbers indicated in Vancouver, at least from the games I watched him in. He was my favorite goaltender in the NHL for a couple of years. I do have I have a Vancouver skate jersey, customized with his name on the back. With it, well, Joseph, I would think that if there was expansion, it would be in the U.S. Again, just because of the size of Canadian markets and the U.S. dollar versus Canadian dollar. But again, I don't see the NHL expanding. I don't know if I ever see them expanding. Like 32 is just that perfect of a number. But anywho. All right. How are we doing here, guys? All right, 11 votes. Cool. We'll close out Markstrom in about 15 seconds. Quebec. I mean, would I like to see Quebec City actually retain an NHL team? Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So 63% of you would have him in the S tier. 27 have B tier. 9% and 0. Okay. So you know what? Sorokin got 45% for the top tiers, but because Markstrom got 63%, I'll put him as our first S tier. Now, I would have him kind of straddling the A and the B tier. He was not very good in the playoffs. Actually, no, I'm going to walk that back. He was great in the first round against Dallas, but he wasn't good against Edmonton. And there were a lot of games last year where he'd give up like 5+ goals. So I'm not as sold on him as maybe you guys are. But like I said, he was one of my favorite goaltenders for a while there. All right. Let's see here. You're going to riot if Saros is an A. Okay, next up is going to be Jake Allen. All right, Jake Allen's statistics last year. He played in 35 games with the Habs. He had a 3.30 goals against average, but he had a 905 save percentage. Also pitched 2 shutouts. So obviously playing on not so good of a team, maybe the numbers are not very kind to him. If the U.S. did an expansion, you'd say Oklahoma and Houston and Cleveland. Yeah, I would like to see Cleveland possibly get an NHL team. I like Kansas City, actually. Probably, if I could choose any city that doesn't have like an NHL team that could use another professional sports team, I would choose Kansas City. They've got great fans for other sports, I think. Okay, how are we doing with Jake Allen? 7 votes on Jake Allen. Would the Sabres consider going back to the Goathead for a rebrand? No, I don't think so. I think that their sales for the current home and away, I imagine that those are really good right now. So they don't want to tamper with that. I would think so. For them to go back to the Royal look was a fantastic decision. But yeah, the Goathead is going to be so popular this upcoming year. Green Bay would be good for hockey. You know what? You're probably right. It's, if they can fit, 50,000 or 60,000 people into Lambeau Field, why couldn't they do it for hockey? Although I'd rather see like Milwaukee get it, right? Keeping an NHL team in Arizona or Phoenix. Well, I mean, yeah, because Houston is just as big as Phoenix is. It's probably even bigger, right? Division matchup for the Sharks. I'm excited to see some of these players for the Ducks. So that would probably be one that jumps out at me. But, oh boy, I don't know how much Sharks I'm going to be watching this year. It's going to be ugly, frankly. But yeah, it'll be kind of fun if like Bordelot's out there, if Eklund's out there, if one or two other prospects could make the roster for San Jose. All right, let's close out Jake Allen, by the way. In 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. All right. Interesting. You guys got Jake Allen in the B tier. Although he did receive some votes for below that. 36-45. So for right now, I'm going to put Jake Allen at the very end of the B tier. But I might even drop him down to the C because his performance was pretty comparable to Carter Hart. Actually, they're very similar. I'm going to drop Allen to the C tier to balance it out. All right, let's go for Freddie Anderson. The Avs are always open for me to watch this season. Absolutely. Absolutely. I went to only one NHL game this past year, and it was Kraken against the Avalanche. Like, I purposely selected that game. Let's see here. Okay, Freddie Anderson. All right. So, Freddie Anderson this past season, the Great Dane, in 51 games, or 52 I should say, 2.17 goals against average as he and his teammates won the Jennings Trophy, a .922 save percentage, 4 shutouts, and he finished 4th for the Vezina Trophy, so just outside of finishing as a finalist. Does Colorado have other pro hockey teams besides the Avs? Yeah, they have the Colorado Eagles for the AHL. Although, really, one, facet of Colorado hockey that has really thrived over the last few years is the University of Denver, or Denver University. They've won a national championship. But yeah, you have the Eagles for the AHL. They used to be part of the ECHL, I want to say. But they don't have an ECHL team right now, I don't think. No. All right, guys, how are we doing with Freddie Anderson here? So we got 9 votes for Freddie Anderson. Definitely cast your votes if you haven't already. Give it about 15 seconds, guys. All right, let's get our votes in for Freddie Anderson. Otherwise, I'm going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, I guess we're going to have to cut things off right here. All right, Freddie Anderson is going to be in the B tier. Interesting. I thought that maybe he would have gotten rated higher. But hey, these are your rankings, not mine. Would Portland be a good spot for an NHL franchise? Yeah, I think so. Although it would be a little difficult because you'd be competing with the Trailblazers immediately, right? Because it's like the same time of year. You might have to have a different building. All right, let's see here. Freddie Anderson is going to go to the. Now, did he place better than Brofsky? Yeah, he did. So he's going to go to the front of the B tier. Okay. Well, I think maybe Freddie should have been A tier personally, but yeah. All right, next up is Mackenzie Blackwood. We got to we have to rank the we have to rank mascots one of these days. I think we do. I actually think that you're right. All right, Mackenzie Blackwood coming right up. So Mackenzie Blackwood this past season, if I were to rate the 3 best mascots, that's tough, man. You would think that Gritty has to be in there. Harvey the Hound is kind of the OG, so I think he deserves a spot there. And if I'm not going to be a homer for S.J. Sharkey, I'd probably say Wild Wing. He's the best looking mascot, so there you go. All right, Mackenzie Blackwood this last year with the Devils, only 25 games, so he had some injury troubles. 3.39 goals against average, an .892 save percentage. He had 2 shutouts as well. Rank head coaches. I mean, I could if people are into it. It's just that I think it's hard to actually rank head coaches as fans. We don't know how much of the on-ice product is... I don't know. It's hard to really gauge the amount of the on-ice product to attribute to the coach. But hey, if you guys are interested, we could do it. We could do it. I think Arizona in the Central, though, that makes more sense than Vegas, because if things don't work out, like actually the NHL admits that it's not working out in Arizona, they would just move him to Houston. Former coaches? Oh, how about like Al Arbor, Scotty Bowman, right? Now that one's a little more. I don't know. That one kind of piques my interest a little bit more. You guys are giving me too many good ideas. I don't think we can fit them all in before the season starts, but I think we could fit these in for. I think we could fit some of these in before the season starts and during the season. So, holy Mackinac. Former coaches like Scotty Bowman, right? Current coaches, right? 90s jerseys, because I'm sure a lot of us grew up in the 90s. What else were you saying, Mike? You had a couple other good ideas. Mascots. Right on. Okay, where did we end up with Mackenzie Blackwood? Let's close out Mackenzie Blackwood in 10 seconds, guys. Houston Twisters. That's got legs. I like that. Or Oklahoma City Twisters, but I think that might be a little bit too close to home. Scotty Bowman. I think Scotty Bowman would have to be in his own tier. Really? He won a Stanley Cup with what, 4 different teams? But yeah, Al Arbor would be up there. Toe Blake. Right? All right. We're going to close out Mackenzie Blackwood. Looks like he's going in the C tier. Okay, so he avoids the D tier. Ranked 90s jerseys and early 2000s. Like CCM era, for sure. For sure, dude. A survey of who has the best ownership. That's an interesting one too, right? Ownership, brands. So that's like logos, jerseys, just marketing, social media presence. That would be effing killer as well. You guys have great ideas. All right. Well, of course you do. All right. Let's see here. GMs, right? GMs, we could definitely do that too. Basically, I want to do what JFresh does on Twitter with you guys here on a live stream, right? Houston Swampfish. Oh, God. What does that even look like? All right, Blackwood. What? 33% D tier, 44% C tier, and 22% B tier. Okay, so we're going to put Blackwood in the C tier. Did he do worse than Hart? Yeah, he did. And really, him and Anderson are not that far apart. But I think there's a decent distinction. All right, Saros is up next. Where's Steven? We got Steven here? You better be here, Steven. No Cortana. All right, I'm going to do Juuse Saros. And while you guys are voting, I'm going to get Cortana some snacks or something, okay? There will be sorrows, yeah, there will be sorrows, and there will be sorrows for many more years. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to get a retreat. Don't go away. Except Cortana's farting a bunch. Must have been that string cheese at the vet today. All right, flamingos. Interesting. Girl. Houston Copperheads. I kind of like that. I kind of like it. All right, how are we doing with Juuse Saros, guys? Yep. We got Cortana here. She's keen for these treats. Copperhead Road could be their theme song. I have never heard that song. I don't think I have. All right, we got 10 votes. Do we got any more for Juuse Saros? There you go. Now she's got her treats. She's going to be a chonky pupper. Actually, she's lost some weight. Anyway, let's close out Juuse Saros. And he's going to go in the S tier, absolutely. Cool. Let's throw him in there. Ooh, next one's going to be really interesting. Jordan Bennington. Let's try it out. Oops, wait, hold up. Bennington. Saros, by the way, was a Vezina finalist this past season. Says the Avalanche fan. But the question is, like, which Bennington are you going to get this upcoming year? Are you going to get playoffs Bennington, or are you going to get regular season Bennington? So Bennington this past year, let's take a look at the numbers. Played in 37 games, a 3.13 goals against average, a .901 save percentage, with 2 shutouts. However, in the playoffs, he had a 1.72 goals against average and a .949 save percentage in 6 games. Victoria, what's going on? Cortana will be back around in just a minute. She's just trying to dig out some treats from this little Kong I have for her there. Houston Armadillos, all right. An armadillo as personified as a hockey player. That I would be keen to see. How do you get like a visor that would cover that snout of them? I have no idea. All right, where are we at with Bennington? Okay, we got 9 votes for Bennington. Let's wrap it up in about 15 seconds. Better wrap that ish up, B. All these wonderful ideas you guys have for future streams. Let me know if I missed any. If you can even see what the hell I wrote. All right. Hey girl. Victoria says hi. Yeah, Victoria said hi. You want to come say hi? Okay, fine. Kansas City Buzzards. Interesting. How about, like, Kansas City Pit Bosses? That just sounds too ECHL, but you know what? I think that'd be pretty rad. Houston Spacemen. There we go. All right, cool. Let's wrap up Bennington in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Bennington actually got some love for the B tier. I thought that maybe he would have been docked down to C tier. Let's see here. I'll be sure to let her know, Mike. All right, so Bennington, how did he place versus Bobrovsky? He did better than Bobrovsky. How did he do against... Okay, not as good as Anderson, though. Bennington goes right about here. All right, next up is Linus Ullmark. So we've got Ullmark, and we also have Swayman on our rankings. Linus Ullmark. Coming right up. Damn it. I'm sorry, man. Okay, so Ullmark, this past season with the Bruins, he played in 41 games, so exactly half of them. A 2.45 goals against average, a .917 save percentage, and he also had a shutout. In the playoffs, he was not particularly good. He only played 2 games, a 4.16 goals against average, and an .860 save percentage. Although, remember, the Bruins lost every road game against the Hurricanes. They won every home game. A goalie duo for my team, who would I choose? From the past and present? I mean, I'm not just going to choose the 2 best goaltenders. I got to choose my all-time favorite, Yevgeny Nabokov. Or maybe we'll have some fun. I'll say, how about Dominik Hasek and Yevgeny Nabokov? Awesome. My neighbor's a hockey fan. Not next door, but my former neighbor when I lived in another part of town. He texted me back. I'm trying to get him to go with me to the Chiefs, the Spokane Chiefs home opener. Alex, what's going on, man? How you doing? Dude, we are 3 weeks from tomorrow. 3 weeks away from our first game of the season. What do you think of those new unis, my man? Full tank rebuild for the Bruins? Boy. Depends on the Pasternak situation. I think that would be, if they don't sign him, if they can't afford him, or if they just want to rebuild, right? Assuming that Bergeron and Krejci are only playing this upcoming season, I think they should just tear things down after that. They don't have a super deep prospect pool, and they might as well, start getting assets. Although they do have, like, Lindholm tied up long-term. McAvoy can still be a really great player in 5 or 6 years, right? Hasek and Turco. Yeah, Turco, kind of underrated. I hated having to face Marty Turco. All right, let's close out Linus Ullmark in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, my favorite goaltender of all time, it's Dominik Hasek, outside of Nabokov. All right, let's see here. So, he's going to go in the C tier, 33% B tier, pretty even split. All right. Now, where does he face, or where does he stack up against Blackwood? He was a little better than Blackwood. How does he stack up versus Carter Hart? Not quite as good. So he's going to go between Hart and Blackwood in the C tier. All right, next up is Elvis Merzlikins. Quick and Lundqvist. Yeah, back in his heyday, Quick was highway robbery incarnate. He was stingy. All right, Merzlikins. I don't know if I'm even spelling that last name correct. I should have just said Elvis. S or A, B, C, D or E. Alrighty. Elvis Merzlikins. Now, the Blue Jackets overall were horrible at keeping the puck out of the net this past season. Merzlikins, in 59 games, a 3.22 goals against average. He had a .907 save percentage, which is respectable, and he had 2 shutouts. He is now 3 seasons removed from finishing 5th for the Vezina Trophy. There's some food for thought. Excited for the new season. Mixed feelings about the new jerseys and, yeah, not sold on the overall uniforms. I think that's fair. I like the road uniforms quite a bit. I think those look good. Home ones, I think it's a little too much overkill, but damn it, that teal does have a shine to it on the helmet. I don't know. I think I'll get used to it. I think I'll end up liking it. But I will absolutely scoop up those jerseys. I just want to wait until I can get them for, like, cheaper. I got to start saving up, man. Between that, the goat head, right? The Robo Penguin in yellow with the penguins, the new Fisherman. I'm going to be so damn hurting in financially. Because I had a huge car repair a couple months ago, or a month ago, that really set me back. And here I am going to Europe for 2 weeks as well. Vincent, hey, ciao paisano. Thanks for hopping in here, man. All right, how are we doing with this poll for Merzlikins? Let's close this out in 10 seconds, guys. An IHL team concept, the Philadelphia Moons. Really? I heard there was like a concept for the Flyers to have teal in their jerseys in the 90s. I think you might have mentioned it, Mike, but correct me if I'm wrong. 2 goat head jerseys. Ah, you're right. 2 of them, yeah. But the red and black one, that's the one that I'm looking forward to most. All right, closing it out for Merzlikins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got to say it with some flair, you know? All right. We are totally split. 33, 33, 33. Well, what do I do about this then? I have no idea where to put you. I'm going to put him in the B tier at the very end. I think. I don't know, man. We'll give you a B tier, Elvis. All right, Jack Campbell. Yeah, Jack Campbell of the Edmonton Oilers is coming up next. I like Campbell a fair bit, actually. I'm kind of not a Campbell stan, but I am an apologist for him, maybe. Will he be enough to get the Oilers into a Stanley Cup final? We shall see. I did a teal away jersey for the Flyers. Interesting. Yeah, man, I'm excited for Alex. Hopefully I can give you guys, or I will give you guys some content for that. Absolutely. All right, so we're going to do, and I might be going to a game in Finland as well. Jack Campbell. This past season, Jack Campbell, in 49 games, most of his career by a country mile, a 2.64 goals against average, a .914 save percentage, and he had 5 shutouts. And in that playoff series against the Lightning, he had, how were his numbers there? 7 games, a 3.15 goals against average, an .897 save percentage, and a shutout. If their goalie wins a cup for another Canadian team, probably Joseph. I could see them getting pretty feisty about that, huh? Yeah, with LA, Campbell was excellent. Oh, you didn't like him? Oh, I thought he was, like, at least statistically, he was pretty good from what I recall. Canada reverse retro throwback. You know, I wouldn't mind it all that much. All right. How are we doing with Jack Campbell? We got 12 votes. All right, I'll give you guys about 15 seconds to cast your vote for Soupy. And then after this, we have John Gibson, Eric Comrie, and Matt Murray. How about that, Twisters? 6 o'clock here in North Idaho. All right, closing out Campbell in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So with 13 votes, he's very much in the B tier. But the question is, how does he compare against other goaltenders in that tier? 69%, 23. That's pretty easy. And yeah, I'd say Campbell is very much a B tier goaltender. But the thing is that he didn't get much in the way of the A tier. C tier got 23%. Let me just calculate this here, guys. But Brofsky, did he do better than Bobrovsky? This one's tough. I'm going to put him right in the middle. When in doubt, just go for the middle. Right there. Bobrovsky or Campbell? Nah, I'll put Campbell ahead. Okay. The All-Star jerseys, like from the 1990s, 1997 All-Star game, those jerseys absolutely slapped. So good. Okay. Next up, we've got John Gibson. That's another interesting goaltender. I think so. You have to expect him to get hurt every freaking year. He's not the only one, but I mean, he's been talked about as a top 5 goaltender at times. He's been kind of an afterthought at times. And Gibson, the highest he's ever finished in Vezina voting is 7th. But that was several years ago. This past year, in 56 games, a 3.19 goals against average and a .904 save percentage. One shutout for Gibson. Future Hall of Famer? I would probably disagree with you there. His numbers are good. I just don't think that they're spectacular. And he has been on one deep playoff run before. I think he won the Jennings Trophy that year. It's like a 90 in NHL 22. Yeah. Health is definitely a question for him, though. All right, Comrie, Murray, and then Francouz. Interesting. Okay. All right, we got 8 votes on Gibson, 9 votes on Gibson. Very convincing so far. But yes, if you haven't cast a vote yet, please do so, because that will help me kind of determine where they fit within a certain tier. Ryan Miller Hall of Fame? I hope so. I don't know if he's going to quite get it, but in his heyday, he was a top 3 goaltender for like 6 years. He was outstanding, and I think about him, of course, in the 2010 Winter Olympics. He was amazing. All right, let's close out Gibson in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5. All right, fine. I think we've pretty much proven our point here. Gibson is going to go also in the B tier. Let's see. We got 11, 11, and 77. Okay. All right, Gibson. Not too polarizing. Everybody had a pretty consistent opinion of him. I don't know. I think Jarry should probably be it. I would personally put him ahead, but I'll be somewhat fair here to the percentages. All right, Eric Comrie. I don't know anything about this guy, but he actually had a pretty good year this past season. So I'll get to his numbers in just a moment. I think he's playing in Buffalo now. Okay, so you see him here with the Winnipeg Jets. All right, let's see here. Comrie. Eric Comrie. Not to be confused with former NHLer Mike Comrie. So, A, B, C, D, or E. All right. And to get Eric Comrie's statistics this past season, he played in 19 games with the Winnipeg Jets, a 2.58 goals against average, and a .920 save percentage with one shutout in those 19 games. But now he plays for the Buffalo Sabres. All right, the best run that the Sharks had? Oh, boy. I mean, I could obviously pick the Cup run. I would say the Cup run is very unique, too, because they were an underdog in 2 of those series, actually 3 of them, including the Stanley Cup final. I think they were picked to win the Stanley Cup that year. I thought that, man, I'm just trying to think about when they didn't completely collapse. I liked the Sharks in the 2013 playoffs. They lost in the second round in Game 7 against LA. They lost to a superior team, but they were so neck and neck with them. If that team would have... I don't know if they could have beaten Chicago. Chicago was an outstanding team that year as well, but that Shark team was kind of underrated. I think they would have played a lot better against Chicago in 2013 in the conference final than they did in 2010, that's for sure. All right, breakout season from the Sharks? Man, I don't even know if anybody can have a breakout year for the Sharks, to be honest with you. I don't know. Luke Cunnin. Let's go. All right, let's see here. Eric Comrie's got 12 votes. Let's wrap him up in about 15 seconds, guys. All right. Eric Comrie will wrap you up in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. But yeah, Alex, I hope that there's a defenseman out there who could somehow find a way to put up 35 or 40 points who's not Erik Karlsson. I just don't know if we have anybody who can do that, frankly. All right. So Eric Comrie, 58% in the C tier, 16% in D tier, 25% in B tier. Yeah, I think that a C tier is pretty fitting for him, given that he had a really good year last year, but that was only in in a set number of games. How did he compare against 19 games? How did he compare against Blackwood? Let's see here. Blackwood. Actually, Comrie did about the same as Blackwood, if not a little bit better. How did he do against Ullmark? Ullmark was better. Not by a lot, but Ullmark was better. So I'm going to put Comrie. I'll put him at the end of the C tier. I think that's pretty fitting. Okay. Next up, we've got Matt Murray. This is another interesting one. Riley, hey, thank you for hopping in here. Good evening to you. Sharky looks like he's been hitting the gym. That's good. Sharky needs to get back to peak mid-90s form when he would toboggan down the stairs. Literally, I saw him do that. And, rappel from the rafters. All right, Matt Murray, coming at you. Matt Murray of the Toronto Maple Leafs, mind you. D or E. Okay. So let's get this here. So Matt Murray this past year. Matt Murray. There we go. He was playing with the Senators, 20 games, 3.05 goals against average, and a .906 save percentage with a shutout. Best season he's had in a couple years in terms of save percentage, at least. Did we rank Fleury yet? Nope. Fleury is going to be... Let's see here. Yeah, we've got 10 other goaltenders before we get to Marc-Andre Fleury. S tier, he's got a cup. He's got 2. You want to say hi? You being a good girl? What a good girl. Look at that smile. Look at that sweet girl right there. What a smile. No? You want this guy? "2010, no one expected the Cinderella run for the Flyers." Yeah, One of 4 times in the NHL history in which a reverse sweep has occurred, right? Ryan Merkley breakout season? There we go. That's what I like to see, Alex. Thank you for giving me a reason to believe. Oops, wait. I can't even see Cortana there. My bad. All right, how are we doing on the ratings here for Murray? 10 votes. All right, let's give it about 15 seconds, guys. That's Cortana. He's being a goofball. All right. Cast your vote for Murray if you haven't already, guys. Yeah, he found lightning in a bottle for both those playoff runs, didn't he? Although Fleury did play pretty well in a couple of those as well. You have some cats. What are your cats' names? Breakout young goaltenders. Well, that was like Ottinger last year, right? I'd like to see Blackwood kind of broke out when he first arrived. I don't know, Riley. Logan Thompson's got a long road ahead of him. Because Brossois is not even. We don't even know when he's going to return. All right. Okay, let's close out Matt Murray in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. A little polarizing in that 23% of you have him in the S tier, but 53% have him in the C tier. So, probably the most polarizing goaltender we've seen so far. And that's to be expected. So, I will put him in the C tier, but he's probably going to go to the front of the C tier because of that. I'll put him toward the front of the C tier. Or Jake Allen, how did he do? Yeah, I'll put him at just behind Jake Allen, just based on what I'm seeing here. He goes right here. Okay. Thank you, Riley. Yeah, I mean, come on. This is just a tried and true classic. It's wonderful, isn't it? All right, Pavel Francouz, Loki, awesome. Our moderator, his 2 dogs are named Thor, and I think the other one's called Loki. All right. All right, so next up we got Francouz. All right. Okay, everybody cast your vote here. So how was Pavel Francouz this past season? Well, it's interesting because the guy doesn't exactly excel at staying healthy. He was in 21 games this past season for the Avalanche. 2.55 goals against average, a .916 save percentage. His career save percentage is .921, but he's only played in 57 games. But in the playoffs, he was called upon quite a bit. He played in 7 games for the Avs, had a 2.81 goals against average, a .906 save percentage, and he also had a shutout. Yeah, me too, Riley. 3 weeks away. 3 weeks from tomorrow. Undefeated in the playoffs. Wow. All right, Alex. We'll catch you later, man. Cool. I think you asked a question about how much longer will it take for a Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup. I'd like to see it this upcoming year. I mean, if I could choose any team to win a cup that's not my favorite team, because that would be completely unrealistic. Damn it, I want the Hurricanes to win the Stanley Cup. But if it's not them, I'd be happy if it was Calgary or Edmonton. I mean, if Ottawa won, that'd be amazing too, but they got to get in the playoffs first. All right, we got 10 votes on Francouz. Let's give it another 10 seconds, guys. Cast your vote if you haven't already. What's up, girl? You being a good girl? Are you enjoying all of our subscribers getting to watch you? Yeah. The Leafs could win. I will not have an opinion on that until they actually win a series. They could have 135 points in the regular season, and I would still bet against them in the playoffs. All right. Here we go. We're going to close out Francouz. Oh, interesting. It's a tie between the B and the C tier as we close this up. Canucks. Yeah, don't count the Canucks out entirely, especially with a goaltender we'll talk about soon on our stream. So 36 and 36 in the middle of this. Interesting. 18% for the D tier. Man, I don't know where to put him. How did he do against Merzlikins? Not as good. How did he do versus Jake Allen? He was about the same. Okay. So there we go. Francouz is going to be right here, I want to say. All right. Okay, let's see here. Next up, Vila Husso. Yep. Vila Husso from Finland, one of the countries I will visit next month. It'll be the first time I've been to Finland. All right, let's take a look at Husso this past season as he had to kind of take over for Jordan Bennington. Played a total of 40 games, a 2.56 goals against average, and a .919 save percentage. He actually finished 7th in Vezina voting. However, he was replaced in the playoffs and wasn't particularly sharp even when he came back in. He played 7 games, recorded a 3.67 goals against average, and an .890 save percentage with a shutout. Oh yeah, Carey Price. No, actually, no, wait. Carey Price is not part of this because he's not going to play this upcoming season. He's going to have a good year. I don't know, man. Which Husso are you going to get? Ooh, after this, we got Jonathan Quick, Petr Mrazek, and Karl Vemelka. How we doing there, girl? All right, how are we doing on the poll, guys? 12 votes for Husso. Okay, let's wrap this up in about 10 seconds. All right, closing out Husso in 5, 4. Girl, you know that this is the stream. All right, you got your attention earlier. So, hold on. Okay, let's close out Husso. He's going to go in the B tier. Now, frankly, I actually would... I'd have him probably in the C tier. I don't know if I'm sold on Vila Husso. And where will I put him? Because he actually got a pretty good rating. Did he do better than Freddie Anderson? Almost. Did he do better than Bennington? Yes, he did, actually. So Husso has a clear spot in our rankings right here. But so far, only Sorokin, Markstrom, and Saros are in the very top. Oh, boy. All right, let's talk about Quick. Again, you gotta rank this based on how you think he's gonna do this upcoming season. At least that's my guidelines for you. Because Quick is not the same goaltender as he was, 8 years ago. He did bounce back a little bit this past season with the Kings. He played in 46 games. He had a .910 save percentage, a 2.59 goals against average, and he had 2 shutouts. That's statistically his best year since 2017-2018. And in the playoffs, in 7 games, as the Kings played the Oilers pretty damn tough, he He had a 3.43 goals against average, a 904 save, and he had a shutout. All right. He's a legend, so he should be A. The Kings are a dark horse? I think so. If Peterson can play a little bit better in net so that they don't have to lean on Quick too much, and Sean Durzi can develop a little more, and Doughty stays healthy, then yeah, I could easily see them finishing top 3 in that division. All right, 11 votes on Quick. Let's give it about another 10 seconds, guys. Oh yeah, I agree with you so far, Mike. They have the deepest of the 3 for the prospect pool. The Knights are a dark horse, I would say. But Vincent says they're overrated. I'd say that they're more... I don't think that too many people are counting them to make the playoffs or do any damage if they get into the playoffs. They got Kessel. That was a good signing, I think, for some depth scoring. All right, let's close this out. So Quick is going in the B tier. There you go, girl. Good. Okay, Quick goes in the B tier. At 58%, 33% for the A tier. That's pretty good. That actually might get him to the front of the B tier. I would say, let's see here. Does he go ahead of Freddie Anderson? Not quite. But he is right there. Just about. Oh, 33%. Okay, never mind. He goes... Sorry. He goes right next to Freddie Anderson. Interesting. Look at that. So far, he's the 5th best goaltender in our rankings. Seattle will be good. I would hope so. We got to see what they get out of Wright and Beniers. Not to mention, who's their franchise defenseman going forward? I don't know if it's, what is it, Ryan Winterton? No, I'm thinking of somebody else. All right, Petr Mrazek. I have Mrazek here because he's going to be the top option in goal for the Chicago Blackhawks this upcoming season. Yeah, Seattle's going to have some competition, though, if they want to tank for Bedard. Montreal, Philadelphia, even San Jose. All right, so this past season, how did Mrazek do? He played only 20 games. His injuries have been really bad the last couple seasons. I mean, throughout his whole career, but still. 20 games, 3.34 goals against average, and an .888 save percentage for Toronto. The season before, he only played in 12 games, but he had 3 shutouts in those 12 games with a 2.06 goals against average and a .923 save. That was with the Carolina Hurricanes defense, though. All right, 9 votes for Mrazek. Keep them coming, keep them coming. Well, one thing I like that I think other hockey leagues do this, Vincent, especially like the AHL, is that they'll actually let you bring your dog to the games. Bruins should tank for Bedard. I mean, yeah, there are a bunch of teams that could theoretically, just throw in the towel. Bubble playoff teams like Winnipeg, right? They're no shoo-in for the playoffs. They should just tank for Bedard. if the San Jose Sharks win the Stanley Cup this year, well, first of all, I'll get a Stanley Cup tattoo. I don't know, Mean Metal Mike. I will buy you your very own San Jose Sharks jersey, customized. Take a screenshot as your receipt. That is a promise from me, because we're not going to win the Stanley Cup. All right, Mrazek, let's close this out in about 10 seconds. You know what? I will tattoo the Twisted Wrister Hockey logo on my body as well. And I will name all of my pets henceforth after San Jose Sharks legends. I don't know. All right, closing up Mrazek right now. And he's going to go in the D tier. How did he do versus Craig Anderson? He did a little worse. 41% for the D tier. I'm going to be kind to him. And for right now, I'm going to put him in the D tier and not the E tier. But to balance things out later on, I just might do that. Okay. Next up is Karl Vemelka. We got Vtech Vanicek, James Reimer, and then we've got Thatcher Demko. So we've got a beauty, and then a couple after that we'll have Marc-Andre Fleury. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this evening, guys. Make sure if you haven't already, you're having a good time, do leave a thumbs up, because that helps bring others like yourselves to my channel. And so then that way we can have more people voting in rankings like this. Karl how do you spell his last name? Karl V. Vemelka, not Vamelka. Sorry. I got to get my Czech spelling right. Okay. Coming up. S or A. Demko. Yeah. I like Demko quite a bit as well. All right. Let's see here. D or E. All right. So let's look at Karl Vemelka's season this past year. Okay. With the Arizona Coyotes, mind you, he played in 52 games in his first NHL season. He gets called in 52 games, a 3.68 goals against average, an .898 save percentage, and he does have a shutout. But he becomes a bit of a folk hero. 40% say S tier. I love it. Vemelka is a beast. I mean, hey, for anybody to come in cold like he did to the NHL and basically come up with a 900 save percentage with the Coyotes, that's not bad, man. He's got some potential. So yeah, cast your vote, everybody. Let's see, we've got, Vanicek, and then Reimer, and then Demko. Okay. All right, Carl needs some more votes, guys. He's got 8 votes. 9 votes, there we go. Help a Carl out. Unleash your inner Carl and give him a vote. How are we doing on time, guys? 6:28. Wow, we've already gone 90 minutes. I got to get through these a little bit more quickly so then I can heat up my dinner. All right. Okay, let's close out Vemelka in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. All right, 36% say C tier, 27 D tier. I love the 18% that we have in S tier, and B tier also was 18. Interesting. I think that, geez, how did he perform versus Eric Comrie? So he did maybe a little bit better than Eric Comrie. How did he do against Blackwood? A little bit better than Blackwood. Ullmark? I think this might be where we put him. Yeah, I'm going to put him between Blackwood and Ullmark right here. That's about right. All right. Next up, Vtech Vanicek. Another goaltender who was carrying more of a load than he was prescribed this past season. I don't know why I said that. That was kind of weird. All right, Vanicek. S or A, B, C, D, or E. Okay. Vtech Vanicek this past season. Now remember, he's now on the New Jersey Devils. But, of course, he was playing with Washington this past year. In 42 games, he had a 2.67 goals against average and a .908 save percentage. He actually had 4 shutouts. So a little inconsistency. In the playoffs, he was not very good. He had a 4.21 goals against average and an .863 save percentage in just 2 games. So he got pulled in favor of Samsonov. So cast your votes, guys. We gotta get through these a little bit more quickly. So with haste, I request you cast your votes. We got 9 right now. I'm gonna give you about 10 seconds to cast your vote. Closing out Vanicek in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, 12 votes for that. Nice going, guys. Thank you. All right, so Vanicek is going to go in the C tier. 16% said A tier. Huh, interesting. All right, so Vanicek goes C tier. Where do I think he belongs? How does he compare against Carter Hart? Actually, might even be better. Matt Murray? All right, I'm going to stick him just right in the middle of the C tier. He goes like right about here. Right about meow. All right. Okay, James Reimer. James Reimer. Optimus Rhyme. Just get this pulled together here. S or A, B, C, D, or E. All right, James Reimer this past season, as somebody who watches the Sharks, he was great. He was great, I would say. He played in 48 games. A lot of that he had a nagging injury. Ended up with a 2.90 goals against average and a .911 save percentage with 1 shutout. But 2/3 of the way through the season, his save percentage was like at least .915, .916. It might have been a lot higher than that, frankly. He was the best shorthanded goaltender in the NHL this past season. At least, I think only Shesterkin might have had him beat. Actually, do I have the splits for that? Yeah, his save percentage when shorthanded was .929. That is absurdly good. So, anyway, yes, I'm going to definitely inject my bias here. But yeah, he had to play through some injuries as well. Respect for James Reimer. Let's give him about 10 more seconds, guys. If you have yet to cast your vote. I mean, if you guys were to say he was a C-tier goaltender, I would still respect the hell out of that. Because I don't know if he's going to replicate that this upcoming season. I hope that Capo Kakinen, yes. I hope he gets more starts. Okay, let's close out Reimer. And yeah, he's going in the B tier. Well done, guys. Well done. I'm gonna put him. I'll lag him behind a little bit, but he still goes ahead of John Gibson. Screw the Ducks. All right. So 16, 16, 58. Okay. Nicely done, guys. All right, Demko. Who's ready for Thatcher Demko? This will be fun. Coming right up, Twisters. So far, we only have 3 goaltenders in the top 2 tiers. We'll have to maybe do some shuffling a little bit later on. You know what? Screw it. I'm putting Freddie Anderson in the A tier. Just to shuffle it around a little bit. And I'm actually going to do a couple other things. Don't mind me. There we go. That's a fair update. Will Demko lead them to the playoffs this year? Exactly. I want to say the Pacific's going to have a wild card team this year. Typically, the Central will have 5. Underrated? Despite the attention he gets. Interesting. All right. Everybody vote. Come on down. 13 votes for Demko. Let's close them out in about 10 seconds, guys. All right, closing out Demko in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Ooh. All right, so Demko gets 57% for A tier, or S or A tier, I should say. 35, 7 for C and D. Okay. I'm going to put Demko in the A tier, but he doesn't quite get up to the S tier because Markstrom and Saros had higher percentages. All right. Next up is Anton Forsberg for the Senators. Again, because it's Forsberg and Cam Talbot, that could actually be a 1A, 1B situation. Oops. I didn't even read Demko's statistics from last year. My bad. All right. So, Anton Forsberg this last year, he played in 46 games with the Senators, and he had a 2.82 goals against average and a .917 save percentage with a shutout. And that has to be easily the best season of his career. It is. I didn't know he started that many games. He's got potential. How old is he anyway? 29? So, I mean, he could still have a few good years ahead of him. All right, Vincent, thanks for tuning in. I think that I'll have to move Anderson by the end of this. We'll see. I mean, we still have, of course, we have Shesterkin, Ottinger, Hellebuck. So, I would think that the majority of goaltenders are going to be concentrated between the B tier and the C tier. We'll see. Yeah, when was the last time the Ottawa Senators had a real ace in goal? It's been a long time. I mean, Freddie Anderson was really good for a couple years there. If John Gibson didn't play for Anaheim, I mean, I think a lot of it has to, do with his playing through injuries as well. But hey, that's a fair point. All right, we got 15 votes on Forsberg. Let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Interesting. Well, Forsberg's going to go in the B tier. Because he got 40%, and he got 40% for the top, or 20% for the top tier. So yeah, we'll put him up in, I don't know, he actually got a pretty good turnout. We'll just stick him over here. At this point, I can't even keep track of the B tier. Okay, next up is Alex Georgiev of the Colorado Avalanche, don't forget. Georgiev. All right. Georgiev. This past season, he played 33 games, had a 2.92 goals against average, an 898 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. And now he goes to the Avalanche to play with Pavel Francouz. Georgiev's going to have a great year. I don't know, man. If those were his numbers on the Rangers defense, I mean, they'll get better with the Avs. But by how much, I'm not sure. I'm not sold on Georgiev personally. All right, guys. 8 votes on this. We're going to have to pick this up so we can get through the rest of our goaltenders. Next up, we have... we got Marc-Andre Fleury, Alex Nedeljkovic, Connor Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, and Igor Shesterkin. How about that? All right, guys. I think Georgiev needs some more votes, though, because I want to make sure we have a fair representation from our live stream here. So cast your vote. Alex Georgiev. What you got? Cortana, where's your Alex Georgiev vote? Do you have him in S tier? B tier? What a good girl. All right, guys. Well, we're going to close this out in 10 seconds, so if you haven't voted already, please do so. I think we're at a standstill right now. All right, closing out Georgiev in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, I'm actually fairly surprised that 36% have him in the top tier. 27 in B and then 36 in C. I would probably have him in the C tier myself. But we'll be respectful because we'll meet it in the middle. We'll put him right here in the B tier. All right, Fleury is next. And remember, guys, it's about how you think he's going to perform this season. Although he's only 2 seasons removed from an incredible Vezina Trophy year. So, lots to think about here with the Flower. All right, so... D or E. Okay. Fleury is up next. What do you guys think? Let's take a look at his numbers, okay? Marc-Andre Fleury. This past season, he played in a total of 56 games, most of which with Chicago, but some with Minnesota. A 2.90 goals against average, and a 908 save percentage. That's actually not bad, the save percentage. The season before that, 36 games in the 56-game shortened season, a 1.98 goals against average, a 928 save percentage, and 6 shutouts. It's Marc-Andre Fleury. One hell of a career he's had so far. Saros is the best. You'd have him over Shesterkin and Vasilevskiy, huh? All right, we got 10 votes on Fleury. I think we've got room for a few more, so cast your vote. And how many more goaltenders do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to close out Fleury in 10 seconds, guys. All right, closing out Fleury in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, Fleury looks like he's going in the B tier. Some results kind of all over the place. 27% for A tier, 45 for B, 9, and then 18 for D. Interesting. All right, I'll give him a fair mark here. We'll put him right about here. Right about here. All right. Next up, we've got Alex Nedeljkovic of the Red Wings. And kind of another example where he didn't have a good year last year, but the year before, he was really good. But that's what happens when you play behind Carolina's defense. Nedeljkovic. All right, Nedeljkovic. There we go. S or A, B, C, D or E. Okay. All right, Nedeljkovic. This past season, he played in 59 games, a 3.31 goals against average, a 901 save percentage. He did have 4 shutouts, by the way. The season before that, he was a finalist for the Calder Trophy with a 1.90 goals against average and a 932 save percentage in 23 games with the Hurricanes. And Nedeljkovic. Hellebuck, Ottinger, and Shesterkin to follow. Grubauer, Swayman, Thompson, Kemper. Who's that there? Talbot, Peterson, and then Samsonov to round things out. All right, folks, we need your votes here. We've only got 5 here for Nedeljkovic. I guess we haven't been watching the Red Wings very much, unless we're watching highlights of Moritz Seider. There we go. Let's see how Seider does in year 2. And maybe, hopefully Zadina can find a way to come alive a little bit. All right, let's close out Nedeljkovic in 10 seconds, everybody. So cast a vote if you haven't already. Jake Allen. Interesting. Nedeljkovic is making a push for the B tier. All right, closing out Nedeljkovic in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Interesting. Man, I don't even know where to put him in this case. He actually might have set a record for goals allowed. Yeah, it kind of felt like it, right? 44 for C tier. Okay. 33 for B. 22 for S or A, though, and nothing for the D tier. So it's kind of hard to, like, just put him in the C tier. Because did he play better than Merzlikins? Or did he, did you guys like him more than Elvis Merzlikins, who's in the B tier? No. They're basically tied. But because the plurality is with the C tier, then he belongs in the C tier. Okay. Now that we have that figured out, Connor Hellebuck is our next goaltender. All right, guys, vote on Connor Hellebuck. We'll pull up his statistics. He played in 66 games this past year. That is one shy of his career high. A 2.97 goals against average and a 910 save percentage with 4 shutouts. The season before, he played in 45 games in the 56-game season. A 2.58 goals against average, a 916 save percentage as he was 4th in Vezina Trophy voting. He is now, 29 years old, so he's right in the prime of his career. All right, Hellebuck cast your votes. Then we got Oettinger and Shesterkin. Yeah, so far only 5 goaltenders have been worthy of the top 2 tiers. Like I said, I kind of bumped Freddie Anderson up there. We're going to need some more votes from you guys. We're at 7 right now for Connor Hellebuyck, who already has a Vezina trophy in his cabinet. Well, he's also been nominated as a finalist in the past. 2.69 goals against average lifetime, 916 save percentage, and 28 shutouts. Well, shoot. We're kind of at a stalemate here, guys. So I'm going to give it 10 seconds, and if we can't get more votes, then we're going to have to just move on to the next one. All right. We're going to close out Hellebuyck in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's close that out. There we go. So Hellebuyck, 33% for A tier, 55 for B tier, 11 for C tier. So this is interesting, right? Where did I have Freddie Anderson? 33 and 66? Actually, no. Technically, Hellebuyck did only like a fraction of a percentage worse than Freddie Anderson. So he's going at the front of the B tier. All right, Oettinger's up next. Here we go. This one's going to be pretty fun. Not to mention the guy who comes after him. Wait, I forgot Vasilevskiy, guys. How did I forget Vasilevskiy? Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, Oettinger. We'll have Vasilevskiy at the very end. How about that? Where do y'all have Jake Oettinger? While you vote on that, I'm going to see if I can reload this poll. So you guys cast your votes. Title case, Nick. Title case. All right, let's see here. And hold on. Okay, should be fine. There we go. We gotta get Vasilevskiy in here, right? Wait, how do I edit this? I know there's a way to edit it. Come on, Nick, you know what to do. Figure it out, dog. Ah, yes, edit. There we go. Let's make sure we get Vasilevskiy in here. Current images. How do I... Okay, I can just add Vasi in here. There we go. So I had all the goaltenders, but I didn't have Vasilevskiy. That's so weird. Come on, Vasi. There he is. We'll just go with that. How about that? All right. Now we can roll with that. There we go. Vasilevskiy's at the very end. Oh, we got 8 votes on Oettinger, guys. We're going to need some more here. Jake Oettinger. Okay, 9 votes. Let's give it about 10 seconds. So cast your vote if you haven't already. There we go. That's better. All right, Jake Oettinger going in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so B tier it is. B tier it is. going to be about... Oh, huh. For some reason, it, like, reordered based on how I sized it. Okay. Well, anyway. We're going to go to Grubauer. Wait. Oh, I see what happened. You know what? Screw it. Let's, can we mix up the ordering? Yeah, we can. All right, let's do Shesterkin next. Let's do him next, huh? That's more fun. Okay. There we go. All right, Shesterkin. This poll better be working. All right, guys. I didn't even tell you the numbers for Oettinger. My bad. Shesterkin. This past season, 53 games, a 2.07 goals against average, a .935 save percentage, and 6 shutouts. He was a finalist for the Hart Trophy, and of course he won the Vezina. In the playoffs, he played in 20 games, a 2.59 goals against average, and a .929 save percentage. You'd like Oettinger if he was anywhere but Dallas. Interesting. I didn't know you had some animosity toward the Stars. For the longest time, I did too, because they used to be a division rival. All right. So everybody vote for Igor Shesterkin. Got 7 votes. Come on, guys. I think we can step it up, huh? For Prince Igor here. But yeah, we're kind of at a standstill for votes, guys. So I'm going to close this out in 10 seconds unless we get some more here. The Rangers win a cup after Hank retiring. Will he want to touch the cup? I think that, yeah, they could win it in 30 years and he'd want to touch the cup. All right. We're going to close out Shesterkin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No surprise whatsoever. He is our highest rated goaltender. And so he's going to go all the way up to the very top. How about that? All right, next up, let's do another fun one. Let's do Andrei Vasilevskiy. Let's put him to the front. Ottinger's going to win the Vezina. That's bold. I wouldn't put it past him. I don't know who's going to win it, but I think Demko's going to be a finalist. All right, Vasilevskiy, guys. The most skilled goaltender in the last 20 years? Over Shesterkin, and I mean, does that even consider like some of the prospects who haven't played in the NHL just yet? Because I think that if we're talking purely about like somebody who has just been drafted recently and hasn't actually played in the NHL for like that level of talent, I think Jesper Wallstedt really has a lot behind him. Carter Hart did too, for that matter. But yeah, Oettinger was amazing in that playoff series against Calgary. Vasilevskiy, I'll pull up his statistics for anybody who's curious. This past year, in 63 games, he had a 2.49 goals against average and a .916 save percentage. He finished 5th for the Vezina Trophy. He had 2 shutouts. So really not like spectacular. In the playoffs, he was very solid. 23 games, a 2.52 goals against average, a 922 save percentage, and a shutout. I think that was what, against Toronto in a Game 7, I want to say. All right, so 8 votes. Yeah, no surprise to see him at 100%. All right, do we have any more votes for Vasilevskiy? We're going to cut this in about 10 seconds, so cast your vote if you haven't already. We're going to go with, cut this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's a good question, Connor, because this is exactly tied, right? Will I put Shesterkin ahead of Vasilevskiy, or will I keep it as is? Oh, boy. I'll keep Shesterkin at number 1 for now. Could the Sharks move the contract if they kept half of it? I don't think so, Bruce. I don't think anybody wants to pay Karlsson $5.5 or $6 million a year for 4 years. I think that if he didn't have as many problems with injuries, then a team might take that on. But wow, that'd be a huge loss. Karlsson, he's telling the media he doesn't want to trade. Markstrom. You know what? I might have to kick Markstrom down. Saros was at, what, 80%? Yeah, we're doing that. All right, here we go. Next up, who do you guys want to do next? We got Cal Peterson. We got Logan. Here, let's get Logan Thompson. If we still got Riley hanging around here, let's get Logan Thompson in here. Might be the worst contract in NHL history. Yeah, maybe it's certainly one of the worst in this era. But I mean, like, it's not going to come anywhere near the Rick DiPietro contract, or there have been some others I think that are worse, but it's easily one of the worst in this era. All right, let's go with Logan Thompson. So Logan got called upon by Vegas this past season after they lost a couple of their goaltenders. He played in 19 games, and he did very, very well, I'd say. 2.68 goals against average, a 914 save percentage, and a shutout, as his team could not score a shootout goal for the life of them. After this, who do I want to do after this? Let's do Grubauer next. Do Grubauer, Kemper. Oh, wait, that wasn't Kemper. That's Samsonov. All right, we'll do that order probably. Logan Thompson, guys, cast your vote. I'm good. Here, I think we can even do this. Let's try this out. There we go. That's even better. Logan Thompson's better than Fleury. Gonna have to see Logan Thompson for a few games before I can say anything about that. All right, 9 votes on Thompson. All right, let's close out Logan Thompson in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Logan Thompson is going in the C tier. How do we do here? 55. Now, how did he do against Vemelka? Did he do better than Vemelka or not as good as Vemelka? He did a little bit better than Vemelka. How did he do against Ullmark? Not, let's see here, not, actually, no, he did, about the same as Ullmark. I'll still take Ullmark just for his experience over Thompson. I'll place him right there. All right, Grubauer is next up. Grubauer. Oh boy. Yeah, might have to cut this one a little bit early, guys. Our numbers have dwindled, unfortunately. That's just the nature of the beast, though. Where do you guys have Philip Grubauer? Let's look at him this past season, man. You want to talk about a stark contrast. Look at Grubauer the past 2 years. This past season, 55 games, a 3.16 goals against average, and an .889 save percentage with 2 shutouts. The season prior with the Avalanche, he played 40 out of the 56 games in the shortened season, a 1.95 goals against average, a .922 save percentage, and he had at least a share of the shutouts lead in the NHL with 7. And somehow he only finished 3rd for Vezina Trophy voting, which is crazy. Played out of his mind. But yeah, comes to Seattle, and it was not a good situation in year 1. Although Seattle did get themselves a new goaltending coach. So I think that that is something that could certainly benefit Grubauer and Drieger and Jones. Yep. All right. All right, guys. Well, I'll give you guys 10 seconds in case anybody else wants to cast a vote here. And then I think we're probably going to drop off. Yeah. All right. We'll put Grubauer in the C tier. Not particularly sharp for him. How did he do against Vemelka? He's going to be like right here. He barely makes it. Although I think he'll bounce back a little bit this upcoming season. Okay, Grubauer gets a little bit more love. Maybe he's an upgrade. We'll get him. We'll fit him right. I believe in you. I believe in you, Philly. There we go. Right there. How about that? All right, guys. I'm going to cut this one because, our numbers have kind of fallen off here. But, hey, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll do more of these live streams. You guys gave me a bunch of great ideas for this. And, stick around. We've got more, division previews coming up, season predictions, all of that good stuff. So, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Make sure if you haven't already, please do bump that thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here watching this, after the fact. And I'll catch you later for more hockey content. Have a great night, guys. Talk to you soon.